there was a graphic that was sent out on Twitter from 33rd Team, and it was Dolphins passing offense under Mike McDaniel with Tua and without Tua. This was what I was going to bring up, and because David Furones had retweeted it and wrote, "It's truly astonishing. Yes, most teams would see a drop off when their starting quarterback goes down, but not to this extreme extent," which goes back to my point where I was saying the most important acquisition during the offseason was the backup quarterback, and they ended up with Zach Wilson, which I didn't think showed the same sense of importance that I thought the backup quarterback was. But the passing offense stats under Mike McDaniel with Tua, EPA/dropback, tied for third in the league. Without Tua, 32nd in the league. Passing touchdowns per attempts with Tua, third in the league. Without Tua, 30th in the league. Passing yards per attempt with Tua, second in the league. Without Tua, 25th in the league. Passing rating with Tua, second in the league. Without Tua, 32nd in the league. And completion percentage with Tua, fourth in the league. Without Tua, 29th in the league. And what Furones was saying, and it's so evident, the drop-off from Tua to the backups. So it tells you one of two stories. You can extrapolate it. It tells you one of two stories. Either Tua is that good, or their backup quarterback position has been atrociously bad.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a little combination of the both, but I think, for me personally, it plays to the story of Tua's that good. That this offense with Mike, which is why I believe the Dolphins are going to be good this coming season, and not many people do. But I think, again, he's got to remain healthy. That's a question mark, but he was the season prior. His numbers bear out, with Mike McDaniel, his numbers bear out an elite quarterback. And we know one thing in this league. If you have an elite quarterback, you are steps beyond every other team. And that's why I think they're going to be good, because when Tua's not in there, that team stinks.
Both sides. I don't want to play defense. I don't want to squirrel on this thing, but I have to. Everything was single digits when Tua was in there. Tua's a top 10 quarterback. 4, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. Yeah, Tua's a top 10 quarterback. You failed with keeping Skylar Thompson around, with having Tyler Huntley come in here, with having Tim Boyle throw the ball out of bounds on fourth down, which I'll never forget that play, like the damn draw in Indianapolis with Tannehill. There's plays that just show me like this. This is crazy that this is an NFL team, NFL coaches, NFL GMs. I don't want to pile on Chris Grier today. And I don't know if it's him or Mike choosing his quarterback, but you give me Tyler Huntley, Tim Boyle, and Skylar Thompson to back up Tua, knowing that he has health risks. That's just the craziest thing in the world. Right now, Zach Wilson, game 4, Tua breaks his shoelace, so I don't want to wish anything bad on him, but Tua can't play for a couple quarters. Are y'all gung-ho about Zach Wilson running into this?
No.
I want the boy from Texas. What's his name? Ewers? I want Quinn Ewers to beat out Zach Wilson in camp to be the backup, because that would give me more confidence if he has to run in that game when Tua goes down. If Tua goes down.
When you look at those numbers or hear those numbers that I read, Solana, what does it say to you? Does it say to you that Tua is an elite level quarterback, or does it say to you that they have bad backup quarterbacks? In other words, if you're Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier, you look at those numbers and what does it say to you? Like, you've got to decide what it says to you. Yes, we know how to call a great offense. Yes, we might have a porous offensive line, but Tua gets the ball out so quickly, it doesn't matter. It negates it. We've got a weakness that we can overcome, which, is part of being a good coach. If you have a weakness, you find a way to overcome it. I don't know. I look at those numbers and I go, Tua's a damn good quarterback. Mike McDaniel's a good offensive play caller. And if they're both out there, you're going to have a good team.
You see those numbers, and it's hard to say that Tua's not a good quarterback. I mean, the Dolphins' offense thrived when those two were on the field together. Mike McDaniel calling the plays and Tua on the field. But what those numbers don't show, as Crowder just pointed to, is Tua going to be available? And I think those numbers, they're great, but is he going to be available? We have one season that proves that he can, and a lot of other seasons that proves that he can't. And you're running a massive risk continuing to put your organization's stability in somebody who lacks stability, who lacks the ability to be stable and healthy. So, I mean, that, my take on it. Like, I think Tua's good.
But if that's your only take on Tua, if your take is he's excellent, but I don't think he's healthy enough to be the starting quarterback, that's one thing. Most people don't have that nuance. Most Tua detractors, of which you are one, just say, yeah, Tua's no good. He's average. And
no, I don't think he's average, but I do think he has a lot of shortcomings. You have to have a specific type of offense for him. He is not somebody who can take a hit. He's not somebody who's great on the run. And in this day and age in the NFL, you need to be able at times to get out of the pocket and go make me a play. All the best quarterbacks do it. All the guys who end up
Tom Brady didn't.
Being Pro Bowlers. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He didn't. But is he Tom Brady? Do those numbers necessarily equate to being better in one game in the playoffs to Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson? I don't buy it.
I think with the numbers, though, I think to me they tell a story of the people who keep saying about blow it up and it's not work. To me, you look at those numbers and you go, no, just keep them healthy. And I know easier said than done, but that's been my overriding point since the end of last season. They're a lot better than you think they are. You've got recency bias from last season. They're a lot better than you think they are.
Hoch, Tua, it says to me, Tua is a top 10 quarterback. If you're in all top 10 stats, personally and team-wise, and EPAs and all these advanced analytical statistics, blah, 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 this nerd crap, you're an elite quarterback. When you go down for that 4-game window, you score 11 points a game. That's that's a Chris Greer, that's a Mike McDaniel problem. You can't call the same plays with Tim Boyle in there because he throws the damn ball out of bounds on 4th and 7.
Or find someone that you can call the same plays with. Find someone better.
Skylar Thompson was sitting in this building for years on years on years, and they couldn't evaluate that he can't win a game. Solana, don't you make a face because you love Skylar Thompson too. That's what it is. That's what the problem is. We have to find a reasonable backup because if you're going to go down, Tom Brady missed that 1 year. Honest, remember when he tore his ACL when the safety hit him in the knee game 1? We won the AFCs that year. You know what? We were 10-6. They were 10-6, but we won a tiebreaker with, I forget who the guy's name is. He was Tim Boyle before Tim Boyle, but they still won 10. Was it Matt Castle? Yeah, like they still won double-digit games. If Tua's healthy, this is a 12-5 team. If Tua's not healthy, this is a 5-12 team. That's the problem.
That's fine. That's fine though. That's fine though. That to me is not a Tua problem then. I mean, okay, maybe it is because he's got to stay healthy. But for me, like if you can identify that you've got the right quarterback, to me, that's 75% of the game. That's why I just think that they're better than people give them credit for.
And I tell you how, but Solana brings up those dogs. I just bring up the AFC. Patrick doesn't miss games. Lamar doesn't miss games.
Yes, he does.
Go to the NFC. Jalen doesn't miss games. Josh Allen is a damn tank.
Josh Allen doesn't all miss those guys miss games. All those guys miss games.
They don't miss
Every
games.
Every single guy that you just mentioned miss games.
They don't miss games like Tua.
We got Tyler Huntley because Lamar Jackson missed games.
They're not missing a month. I don't think Lamar's. I can't remember Lamar missing a game.
He missed like 5-6 games in a row, which is why Tyler Huntley got the Pro Bowl nod.
Lamar had a huge span of consecutive seasons missing a lot of games, but since he got paid by Baltimore, he's been healthier. He's been more available. Hoch, there is some irony, though, in you saying the number one thing has to be keeping Tua Tagovailoa upright, keeping him healthy, coming off a segment where you created the Icon Bros fan club.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Icon Bros. I mean, if you're in, you're in. If you're not in, you're out.
I'm out.
If
Well,
Liam,
no, you're in.
I'm
if
out. No, you
Liam
can't tell me
Eichenberg-
I'm in.
No, you're in. You're in. You can only be beaten out. And we're not going to do that to you in this fragile state. All right, 5 o'clock Funky Buddha happy hour is coming up next. No, that there's no that we've had the conversation. We've come to
played.
conclusion.
Lamar Jackson games played 16, 15, 15, 12, 12, 16, 17. That's
12
not
and
Tua.
12. I mean, he's missing 5 games this season. Tua missed 5 games last season.
And then, but when Tua was missing 5 games, he was playing 16 and 17. Tua missed the whole season. Tua was sitting there with the little crumply hands.
The season prior.
Tua was crumply hands. Tua's only played a full season one time. Lamar's
was there any 17 game seasons up there for Lamar?
17, 16, 15, 15, 16. 3 full seasons. 2, he missed 1 game. He probably missed that game because they were already locked into the number 2 seed in the AFC, Hawk.
No,
like, let's not act like Lamar Jackson's injuries are Tua's injuries. And Lamar runs the ball, and he takes more hits.
And what's your point?